Alright, so yesterday I attempted to make focaccia, but I only had cake flour, and so this first footage is me trying to force making focaccia with cake flour and really old yeast, which might have been still alive, just not very great to use. Maybe they all died, I'm not sure. But it's the kind in the jar, so I didn't freeze it. Yeah, this is me adding cake flour, salt, yeast. And I even wasted time getting out this small amount of honey. I wasted this olive oil. And I don't know why, but my scale was also acting up, so I'm pretty sure I added too little flour, maybe a tiny bit too much water. And so yeah, I tried. As soon as I mixed it, I knew this would not work. Even attempting to add more flour, I knew this was not going to work. So I marched to the grocery store, bought all-purpose flour, new yeast, and this is a new type of yeast I've never used before, but it's still instant yeast, has vitamin C in it. So I added the flour, honey, because I don't have sugar, salt, olive oil, and yeast. And I'm using the King Arthur's website recipe for focaccia, which I've never tried before. And this is my first real attempt at making focaccia like semi-properly, because I usually don't wait long enough and I don't need long enough when I normally make it, but in this recipe basically you mix together the ingredients and then with a wet hand you fold the dough onto itself and you wait 15 minutes and you do that 4 times for 1 hour. Where I mess up in this recipe is that after that 1 hour, you're supposed to wait 1 more hour, put it on the pan, and then wait another hour-ish. But that middle 1 hour wait, I accidentally skipped, but it still turned out really good. This is the best focaccia I've ever made. Still very light. And my apartment is quite warm, so the actual rise rate is probably higher in my apartment than what it's actually supposed to be. And so it turned out okay. I mean, it's probably better if you wait that middle 1 hour. Yeah, this is me wetting my hand to fold this in. And this is the annoying thing about baking, it's just the waiting. Or at least making normal, like yeast-based bread. I do it kind of wrong here, but you're supposed to take the edge and then fold it in the middle and then flip it around before you cover it up. And then, oh yeah, before you transfer to the pan, I usually use just a bunch of olive oil, which works. But instead, I'm going to cheat here and use a tiny bit of butter. And you could also use no stick spray. And the reason it works so well, there's something in it, I think it's like lecithin or something, that makes it spread really easily while heated up, and that's why it works so well. So I use a little bit of butter, a little bit of olive oil, and this also makes it easier. If there's less oil on the bottom, I can remove it from the pan and put it into the rack directly to let it cool. Or like in the website recipe, they do that to brown the edges, but I'm okay just eating it as is. So yeah, after I oiled this, I carefully plop this dough on top and I just let it spread out on its own, so I don't crush 100% of the bubbles, the air. And so yeah, this took like about an hour of waiting in this pan. This is why my grandma did not approve of me making bread, because I'm doing all this to make something that kind of isn't a full meal, but I did eat a lot of this bread in one sitting. And then before you bake it in the 475-degree Fahrenheit oven, I put some olive oil in my hand. I indent the dough with my fingers, and then I take a little bit more oil and I spread it evenly across the top so it browns, it doesn't burn. And I thought I had herbs de Provence to put on top of this, but I did not. So I just used salt and dried rosemary on top. And you could use the fanciest salt you have, but it doesn't really matter, in my opinion. Just use whatever you have. And then, oh yeah, I try to soak the rosemary in the oil so it doesn't burn. And then most focaccia recipes, the oven is really hot. So it's usually 475 or 500 degrees Fahrenheit is the recommended temperature. And I bake mine for 20 minutes. But you could do it slightly less if you want to take it out of the pan and brown the sides. And in the end, it kind of looks like this. And I'm happy with this shade. I carefully shimmy it out, and I try to remove a little bit of the oil from the bottom with the paper towel, so I can move it back into the oven. But I turn the oven off, and I leave the oven door open, so I'm just using the oven rack as a cooling rack, because I don't want to clean my other thing. So yeah, and there's more waiting. Give it like 45 minutes to an hour-ish to let the bread set. Because if you cut it now, it's all weird and glutinous. So after about an hour-ish, cut open this bread. I did have olives, but I didn't have that many, so I just put it in a separate bowl, soaked with water, and then drained. And I add olive oil to the bowl, and I just eat it on the side. This is the nicest textured focaccia I've ever had. It'd probably be a little bit more airy and soft if I had waited a little bit more, but still really, really good. The crust is really thin, which is nice. And covered in foil, the next day, it still tasted pretty good. I had it for breakfast this morning. But yeah, the rest of this footage is me eating this olive oil and bread. I will probably be making this again. I have actual flour and yeast now, so I can make it again this week. But yeah. Thank you for watching.